Well, good evening to all you wisdom walkers out there. This is Jojo Maria and Saroma coming to you with another edition of Astrology for Self Mastery here on Sunday, September the 14th. And this time period that I'll be talking about is going to take us through September 17th to the 24th. And you realize that's only 7 days. Yeah, but it's 7 very packed days, like, yeah, packed with a lot of aspects, a lot of shift because we also have the equinoxes coming. So, whew, yeah, yeah, it's something else. The last video I made, which was just last week, I had a hat on, I had gloves, I had scarves, it was cold. And now everything is shifted. So I get to wear a dress that I just love. Didn't think I'd get to wear it this season. But things have warmed up here a lot. And I'm tired. I am tired. And you know why I'm tired? Because I've had so much fun over the last 3 days. Yeah. I actually got into a movie theater. I did see the Downton Abbey movie, which it's really good. I highly recommend it. Downton Abbey is genius because it's really about how the fall of an empire impacts this aristocratic family personally, and we get to experience them as human beings. And so, yeah, Julian Fellowes, a writer, he's just genius. It's just really great, but it's very much in sync with what is going on, especially here in the United States. So, yeah, and if you haven't watched all 5 seasons, there's actually a video on YouTube that will give you a summary of the 5 seasons, and yeah, you can go watch the movie. It's really good. They did 2 other movies in for our feature films, and this one was really great. And before that, I had tea with my friends at a tea shop. That was really fun. And then yesterday, I spent time with family, my nephew and his wife, and we just had a really good time. So I'm tired from having so much fun, and I'm so grateful that I was able to do that. But let's jump into this 7 days of astrology, along with me giving you some reminders too about some of the energies that are happening. But again, don't doubt that we are in a very, very powerful, important, radical time of change. Absolutely. So here's a quote for the end of September. September 2025, wild surrender and sacred refinement. September closes as one of the 2025's most defining months, saturated with eclipses and sculpted by planetary shifts. No corner of life will be untouched. To live this month is to witness transformation at its most intense, where endings and beginnings arrive as cosmic choreography, and the choices you make now define your dance for years to come. To thrive this month is to understand the magic within the mystery and embrace the future, even if it's unknown. And that's from Raquel Reyes, who writes for astrology.com. And then September calls for patience, honesty, and recalibration, reminding us that true progress comes through reflection and realignment. And that's Philip Young, my go to astrologer for my personal readings. He also does tarot, and his website is blackunicorn.com. Yeah, very cool. Also, I just want to remind you about this really important, Astro Butterfly calls it the Genesis aspect of the Saturn and Neptune conjunction in Aries. And Aries is at the beginning of the zodiacal wheel. And this is the first time that these 2 signs have come together like this in a long, 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 long time. So it really is bringing us into an energy that is about generative things, generative information, generative ideas, like this is really, we're going to be moving forward. And it's about accelerating the dissolution of structures and systems that no longer hold significance, that no longer have a purpose. So we're in this balsamic phase, they call it in astrology, meaning it's coming together, it's building up, it's happening. And our job is to stay mindful of that so we don't get caught up in feeling sorry for ourselves or feeling victimized as certain things are really being pulled away, coming to an end. And back to the Downton Abbey story. Yeah, very, very significant for where we're at and what we're doing right now. Absolutely. So, reminder of the impact days, and I did change it to September 2025. Um, and so it's the 18th, it's the 20th, it's the 21st, it's the 22nd, it's the 23rd to the 24th. Yeah. So 6 of the 7 aspect days coming up are impact days. Yeah. So get ready. Get ready. This is going to be a very, very solid week coming up of a lot of change. Yeah, a lot of impact. So we are still right now, as I'm talking with you, in I'm sorry, Virgo season, time to gather the harvest. People went back to school, time to take care of our health, make sure that we are getting ourselves ready for the change in the seasons to winter if you're here in the northern hemisphere and to summer if you're in the southern hemisphere. But again, it's a preparation time, and also a culminating time to bring it in. Ashe. So here we go. We're going to start with this Wednesday coming up, September the 17th, and we have a opposition. And yeah, folks, you're going to see several oppositions and squares within these 7 days. That's why it's so impactful. Yeah. And there's some flow aspects too, but yeah, it's many more of the tight energy than what we normally have been experiencing. So it's Mercury in Virgo opposing Saturn, who's retrograde in Pisces. And as it says, what's up with the stars today? Nothing comes easy, so be ready to put in the effort to turn your dreams into reality. Stay dedicated and keep pushing forward. It's time to get serious about your goals and dreams as you need to put your head down and get to work. So again, this is about really inciting us to, get stuff done, to not feel put off or to feel, like we can't do it, to really know that we can transcend the barriers and the blocks. We just have to believe that we can do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice aspect. I love it. Then the following day, on Thursday, the 18th, we get Mercury entering Libra. Yeah. And as it says here, Mercury's ingress into Libra reminds us of the value of kindness and of choosing our words wisely. This transit brings our attention to the importance of communication in relationships and invites us to hone our diplomacy and negotiation skills. In Libra, Mercury reminds us that the way we say something strongly impacts how our message is received. This transit highlights the value of tact, politeness, and elegance in communication. Yeah. Yeah. And I also want to remind you, or just say to you, not remind you, but to say that Mercury, Venus, and Mars are what's called our personal planets. Saturn sometimes can be in that mix too. But it's these personal planets, and they're all going to be shifting to a new part of the sky within 5 days. Yeah. And that's also something else that's not usual. Usually one will go at the beginning of the month, and one in the middle of the month, and then one at the end of the month. But this time it's like boop, 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 boop. So definitely that's why this week is so impactful, because of all of this planetary shifting for real. Yeah. Here's what it also says about Mercury entering Libra. After a 17-day sprint through Virgo, Mercury lands in the uncharted territory of the other. Here, ideas echo, opinions are challenged, and in the back and forth dance of dialogue and debate, something shifts. We allow the other in, and in doing so, create something greater than the sum of our individual perspectives. The result? A broader, more nuanced understanding of ourselves and the world around us. And that's from Astro Butterfly. Then Renee Watts says, where Mercury in Virgo dissected, Mercury in Libra builds bridges. You'll certainly catch some more bees with honey while Mercury moves through Libra until October the 6th, making this a beautiful window for negotiation, proposals, and heartfelt performances. And then lastly, from Moon Omens, during this transit, we have an opportunity to put ourselves in other people's shoes, deepen our understanding of the way they think and perceive reality, and create compromises that are truly healthy for everyone. And boy, do we need that now. Absolutely. So also on this day, we do get this opposition, which is Mercury in Libra opposing Neptune retrograde in Aries. So shortly after entering Libra, Mercury opposes retrograde Neptune in Aries, encouraging us to be mindful of self-deception and make sure we correctly discern between fact and fiction. Miscommunication can lead to fights and hurt feelings. Not a great day for getting deep or trusting too freely. And I think this is a really, really cool, important message that is really reminding us stop wanting people to go along with your program. Stop believing that unless they go along with your program, that, they need to be destroyed or eliminated or disposed of. No, because we don't know everything. We really don't. And I'm not talking about putting yourself in harm's way. I'm just saying what this is saying is to be more mindful of and discern, you know, between fact and fiction, and also how you are needing somebody to show up for you when they really can't do that. Absolutely. Shay. And then we get a flow energy also on this day. This is Mercury in Libra, trining Uranus, who's retrograde in Gemini. This innovative aspect enhances communication through technology, making it a fantastic day to discover new information or forge new friendships online. It's perfect for social media activities of the good kind, folks, of a positive nature, starting a podcast or going live. Yeah, maybe I need to do a live stream on that day. We'll see what happens. And then we also have another flow aspect, and this is Mercury in Libra trining Pluto, which is retrograde in Aquarius. It's a fantastic day for asking for favors and persuading others, as this aspect makes it effortless to get people on board with your ideas. Use this energy to negotiate and secure the best deals. Yeah. So, some good positive flow energy that shows up. Mercury is moving into Libra. Now, on Friday, the 19th, we have Venus entering Virgo. Yes, Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and abundance, arrives in Virgo with a discerning touch. This isn't typical Venus in her luscious silk robe sipping champagne, but Venus as a curator who refines the art of devotion. Love under this transit is best expressed through small acts of service, attention to detail, and consistency. Embrace budgeting and investing in long term wellness. Aesthetically, the Virgo favors clean lines, elegance, neutral colors, and intentional accessories. Until October the 13th, fortune favors those who operate from intention. Yes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So here's some more message for you. This transit inspires us to focus less on grand romantic gestures and more on the everyday acts of service and devotion that keep our relationships alive. Venus in Virgo emphasizes the value of discernment. This combination of energies asks us to reflect on how we are investing our time, attention, and energy, and make sure we pour our love into those pursuits and connections that nourish us. Absolutely. In Virgo, Venus reminds us that our relationships thrive when we show up with presence, humility, and a willingness to improve what can be improved. And that's from Moon Omens. Yeah. So just again, some just lovely, lovely reminders of being intentional and discerning. As Daphne says, intention, love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what's that old saying? If you don't know what you're wanting and don't have an intention, you'll fall for anything. And so it's basically saying this is a time to really master ourselves and to use our self mastery wisdom to walk our talk and to really focus on again, how can I contribute to long lasting, loving relationships, rather. Yeah. And that means you got to be considerate and think about the other person. It can't be about me, 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 me. No narcissistic behavior can help you in that realm. Absolutely. So, also, another message for you, the difference between look at me Venus in Leo to practical and humble Venus in Virgo is like Barbie versus Cinderella. Unlike Barbie, Cinderella was not born in a shiny outfit. She had to scrub the whole house to go to the ball. But for Cinderella and for Venus in Virgo, the reward means now more because she actually earned it. With Venus and Virgo, the slogan changes from because I'm worth it to because I've earned it. I love it. Yeah. And that's from Astro Butterfly. I love her analogy of Barbie versus Cinderella. Yeah. Cool stuff. Then on Saturday, the 20th, we get a square showing up. And this one is Venus in Virgo squaring with Uranus retrograde in Gemini. Today might feel chaotic as this aspect could challenge your relationship stability. The pull between the new and the familiar may create tension. Be mindful of how you handle change. Yeah. And again, like I said, we're in this time of things shifting, of things changing. So this is just a nod to, be mindful of it. And of course, change is going to, result in some kind of tension, some kind of upset, some kind of disruption. That's just the way it rolls. So our job as self-masters is just to, you know, be mindful of what's going on and not, you know, go into judgment, blame, shame, and guilt. Yeah, like just stay aware, like, okay, this is the result of the change stuff. Jojo Pa said it was coming. Here it is. Now, on the same day, not only do we have a square of tight energy, we have an opposition. Yeah. And this is the sun in Virgo opposing Neptune, which is retrograde in Pisces right now. So today, your boundaries may be tested as you reflect on their purpose. Instead of resisting, embrace the moment with an open mind and consider how they might evolve. And again, this is back to really to that discerning, weighing, judgment, thinking things through because you don't want setting a boundary to be where you are doing it out of fear and making somebody your villain. No. Setting a boundary, very simply, is about communicating what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And whether or not somebody accepts that or not doesn't really matter. Because if they don't accept it, then you know, oh, hey, this is not a person who can really support me in the truth of who I am. So I need to keep them at a distance until they grow, heal, evolve, right? Yeah. So remember that we don't put up boundaries because we're afraid. We put up boundaries because we're clear about what doesn't work for us. And that's a very different energy when you're setting boundaries versus being in reaction and being in fear. Absolutely. And Daphne says, yes, loving it with interest and understanding. Absolutely. Absolutely. Boundary setting isn't about being a victim. It's about being a victor because you're asserting yourself in a polite and loving way. Shay. Now, on Sunday, the 21st, and you notice, folks, that we've got something happening every day, right? There's like every day there's an aspect, yeah. And so this one brings us to what's featured for the last half of the month, which is our partial solar eclipse in the new moon. So let me start off by reminding you about what a partial solar eclipse is. So a solar eclipse is completely different from a lunar eclipse, which we had previously to last week. It happens when the moon passes directly between the earth and the sun, blocking sunlight from reaching the earth for a short time. It can therefore only occur at the new moon, a phase when the moon is roughly in front of the sun. So, a partial solar eclipse, this is when the moon crosses only part of the sun. These are more common and can be seen over a wide area. And at no point can they be viewed with the naked eye. Again, any solar eclipse, you need some protective wear. Since looking directly at the sun can cause permanent eye damage, it's crucial to wear eclipse glasses or solar filters at all stages of a partial and annular eclipse. And the annular is the one where it's like a ring of fire. Yeah. With a total eclipse, the only time you could take your glasses off would be when it's in its totality, right? And everything is totally dark. But as soon as the sun rays come out again, and especially after being totally dark, you have to protect your eyes. Yeah. So this eclipse coming up on the 21st is visible from New Zealand, plus a thin strip of Australia's east coast, various Pacific islands, and parts of Antarctica. Now, the time lapse, this means from the first time the eclipse can be viewed until it can no longer be viewed by us Earthlings, it will be from 12:30 to about 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So, during that time period, it means that you may, especially if you're very empathic and sensitive like I am, you may be feeling the effects of this eclipse because what is this energy doing, right? It's going to be moving stuff, right? Moving stuff out of us, opening something up, closing something out. So you want to really, really, really give yourself permission, if you're very sensitive, to make sure during this time you're staying as calm, as peaceful, as non-stressed as you possibly can. As you can. If you do have to stay functioning, um, just keep it in mind. This is a powerful time so that you slow yourself down, you take your time, you communicate. You can communicate with people. You know what? There's an eclipse going on right now. So let's just slow it down. Let's just take our time here. Again, assert yourself, set your boundaries because it's powerful. It is powerful. And that's about 4.5 hours worth of time. Yeah. Powerful stuff going on. I have a Miranda Hurd who says, yes, loving it with interest and understanding. Thank you, Miranda. Yeah. Yeah, this is powerful messages, and I'm so glad it's of support to you. Yeah. So let's go more into what this new moon partial solar eclipse in Virgo is about. Now, this potent lunation comes 14 days after the powerful full moon total lunar eclipse in Pisces. This is our second Virgo new moon in a row, and this time it includes a solar eclipse in the south node. Yeah. And remember, the nodes of the moon is the north and south part of an eclipse, is basically what it is. And those points, which are imaginary, are considered to be portals of information that come to us. Yeah. So, this fourth and final eclipse for 2025, which occurs a day before the equinoxes, encourages a deep reflection on our lives and how we can improve things. Use this energy to cultivate good habits, prioritizing your well being, and get everything in order. And that's a big message to me because I still got to do my taxes. Love it. So, full moon in Virgo and partial solar eclipse. Right before the equinox, we have a forget me not solar eclipse at 29 degrees Virgo. That's in the last degree of that sign, the very last degree. This is a spectacular eclipse that bridges the gap between the world before and the world after. The Genesis Saturn Neptune conjunction, which will be at 0 degrees in Aries in February of 2026. Powerful, yeah. So the geometry of the eclipse is fascinating. Most planets are either at their first or last degree of their signs. For example, Mars is at 29 degrees Libra. This further highlights that a door closes and a new door opens energy. That is the signature of this lunation. Change can feel unsettling, but the supportive aspects, the grand air trine, which I'll remind you about in a minute, surrounding this eclipse suggests there's a higher plan orchestrated by the universe, something that's guiding us towards something better and even more aligned with our true purpose. Yes, thank you, Astro Butterfly. So let me remind you about the grand air trine. And a trine is that it is that flow energy, and it's when you have planets all in the same elemental energy at a specific time. And so the three planets that are going to be working with us into beginning of October, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's the beginning of October. It's Uranus, which is in Gemini, which is an air sign, Mars, which is in Libra now, which is an air sign, and then Pluto, which is in Aquarius, which is an air sign, not a water sign, it's an air sign. Yeah. And here's some information for that. From August 6th to September 21st, oh, I was mistaken, not into October, but until September 21st, there's a grand air trine between Pluto, retrograde in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, it's retrograde now, and Mars in Libra. Mars transits in Libra only once every 2 years, and this is the instigator for this current astrological aspect pattern. This cosmic formation asks us to open our minds to what? Yeah, new possibilities. It makes thinking and communicating easier, providing clarity, straightforwardness, and solutions to complex problems. Great cosmic energy for healing all types of relationships, especially our relationship with ourself. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I just love this. So that will be going on the 21st. So here's some more about this new moon in Virgo partial solar eclipse. The Virgo solar eclipse arrives as September's pivotal reset. Solar eclipses are accelerated new moons, and in Virgo, the collective focus turns toward health, service, rituals, and ecological stewardship. Oh, I'm so happy to hear about that. Yes. This eclipse plants intentions that will unfold through February 2027. That's 2 years or a year and a half, folks. Virgo's archetype demands discernment. Back to discernment again. So the intentions you plant now must be practical and embodied, meaning things that you know are aligned with the truth of your journey and your sacred contracts. Yes. Virgo suggests a shift from relentless optimization to holistic, soulful living. Yes. The cottage core economy, I love that new term. It thrives as hustle culture loses its grip. And that's being in a rat race, being in the matrix, right? Now it's called cottage core economy. Influencers swap boardrooms for herb gardens, sourdough starters, and small batch tea blends. What looks like nostalgia is also futurism, a generation rewriting success through slower living, devotion, and spiritual experimentation. And that's from Renee Watt. Wow, like really, really, really cool. There is a woman online who her and her husband had been living high in New York. I think they were living in Brooklyn. No, I think they were in Manhattan. Yeah, he's a doctor, and she was working for a startup company that invested in that. Anyway, they decide to go back home to Iowa, where they grew up. I think it's Iowa, yeah, and take this 100-year-old schoolhouse sitting in the middle of a cornfield and turn it into their home. And she has over 1 million viewers and subscribers, of course, as people are watching. She wonderfully documents how to turn this house of horrors in this building into this beautiful, beautiful home with all this yard space for her children. And yeah, and so that to me is what they mean by core cottage economy, like people saying, I'm not going to be in the rat race. I am going to take myself and give myself a higher quality of life than what the matrix can provide. Yeah. And the fact that they're doing it is just amazing. Yeah. So I just have to share that. I wish I could remember her name, but if you put in Iowa schoolhouse home, it'll show up. Yeah. If you want to see it, it's really cool. Really cool. So next, let's talk about this new moon in Virgo as a South Node eclipse. What does that mean? It's about releasing the old and closing a chapter. Here we go. The message couldn't be clearer. It's time to integrate the lessons and, just like a phoenix, allow ourselves to be born again from our own ashes. I love it. Remember what I keep saying, folks, the time we're going through, the change we're going through is an inside out job. It's not about trying to control what's outside of you. It's about what am I believing, thinking, and desiring that is holding all of this craziness in place. Where is it that I need to heal, grow, and evolve? So, like she's saying here, allow ourselves to be born again out of our own ashes. This is not about erasing the past, but about using what we've built so far as the foundation to step into a better, more fully realized version of our lives. 29 degrees Virgo is not just the last degree of Virgo, it's also the final degree of the first hemisphere of the zodiac wheel, she means. The part that's all about me and my world. From Aries to Virgo, we've grown, developed, and maybe even found mastery in our field. And that was that focus on self, all of those signs. But living from a me island can only take us so far. The way forward now asks us to welcome new perspectives and to step into the hallmark of the second half of the zodiac, which is life beyond the self. Yes, and this is where we get into the collective and needing to be conscious about the collective, really feeling ourselves as part of the greater good, the greater masses, to know that we are not alone. It ain't just about us, and that we really do have a role to play to make this world a better place. Absolutely. I just love it. And then lastly, the Virgo new moon solar eclipse, and more about the aspects. The solar eclipse in Virgo, which occurs on the second new moon in this sign brings a potent wave of renewal into our daily lives. Conjunct with the lunar south node, this solar eclipse challenges us to make radical changes in our relationship to work and health and question what it means to live a life dedicated to service. Absolutely. And that service includes yourself, folks. It's not just about others. It's all about how am I serving me? How am I taking care of me? How am I nurturing me? Absolutely. Opposing both retrograde Saturn in Pisces and retrograde Neptune in Aries is an invitation to redefine work, service, and spirituality and commit to being in alignment with our highest values. And those of you who've been listening to me know I'm always preaching about going to the higher timeline. Yeah, going to the higher dimension. Both Saturn and Neptune being retrograde urge us to reassess the responsibilities we have taken on, as well as the nature of the dreams and visions we aspire to materialize. And this is from Moon Omens. And again, this is all about what? Yeah, discernment. We need to discern. We need to be making sure that what we're doing is really aligned with our sacred contract, with our higher truth, with our higher timeline, with our authentic self. Yeah. And so this new moon next weekend is really going to help us. It's going to move us into a place where it's easier to do that because everything I've been sharing with you is all about discernment. Look at this, think about that, look at this, and that, and that, in order for us to, be here and really grow into what the age of Aquarius is calling us to be. Absolutely. Now, the following day, on Monday the 22nd, we get, we're going to have our seasonal change. And I made this chart up because I wanted to really stress to you the importance of the equinox and the solstice, these changes of the season, this cyclical movement that we do around the sun, and how it is really speaking to us about the evolutionary impulse and nature of the universe. So it's not linear. Our experience of life isn't linear. It goes cyclical in a spiral. So we're constantly moving up, up, up. And we come to things again, not to suffer again, no, to learn how we have grown, how we have stretched, how we have transcended. So I just keep this in mind because, in Western culture, a lot of times we really think that everything should be locked down and nothing should be changing. Otherwise, it's bad, it's wrong. But that's not true. That's not what's going on. It is very natural for things to be growing and shifting and changing. And yes, death is a part of that. But then there's rebirth. So some things get taken away because why? They're worn out. There's nothing generative in them anymore. It's not going to solve our challenges. So we need something new. And you can't get to the new if you're not willing to be in motion, to be going around the wheel, the spiral that goes up. Yeah. And again, it's hard. This is not easy stuff, but it's so important for us to keep this in mind if we're going to get through all of this chaos and insanity. So the sun in astrology, archetypal and incremental seasonal change, as the center of our solar system and the force that makes life on Earth possible, the sun in astrology represents the light of our conscious awareness. Each season, his journey through the 12 zodiac signs illuminates a different archetypal energy, inviting us to explore and embody its unique expression. So on the 22nd, we move into the season of Libra, which is the fall here in the northern hemisphere, and it's spring in the southern hemisphere. Yeah. Time for Libra. There she is holding her justice. So happy birthday to the Libra community. The sun's ingress into Libra is an opportunity to explore who we are within our relationships and how our interactions with others impact our sense of identity and purpose. This season is all about exploring different ways to connect with people and learn from each other with an open mind and heart. Libra season reminds us of the power of cooperation and collaboration, while challenging us to recognize imbalances in our lives and observe where we are drawn to gravitate toward extremes. Sounds like, being addicted to drama, trauma, and melodrama stuff. Yeah. And while Libra is almost synonymous with the word balance, and balance sounds a bit like inaction, let's not forget that Libra is a cardinal sign. The Libra season is actually a great time to take action. Get yourself out there, make connections, and initiate new projects. Wonderful. Love, love, love it. Now, also on this day, we get our equinoxes. The equinox is a day of balance and harmony as the hours of lightness and darkness are equal. This is a time to experience the cosmic truth that everything will return to balance because this is how the universe works. Absolutely. Things only go out of balance so they can get back into balance, folks. Yes, remember that. So, when the sun oh, and I'm sorry, hold on for 1 second because I can't read this. I gotta blow it up. Okay. On September the 21st and 22nd, because of the southern hemisphere, the sun enters Libra and the fall equinox arrives, again in the northern hemisphere, perfectly balancing day and night. For thousands of years, equinoxes have been treated as celestial new years across cultures, celebrated with harvest festivals and other temple alignments. Astrologically, the equinox is a cosmic reset. The sky pauses at balance before tipping toward darker or lighter half of the year. September energy evolves and brings new energy, charm, and beauty that shapes everything from cultural conversations to personal relationships. The equinox is that powerful time of the year when the day is equal to night. This point of equilibrium is also a turning point. The balance between day and night now shifts. There's a new season bringing new developments, new opportunities, and new beginnings. Yes. How wonderful. So important for us to remember this. So important. Yeah. Just wonderful, wonderful stuff. Now, also on this day of the sun going into Libra and the equinoxes showing up, we have Mars entering Scorpio. And this is the third of those personal planets I talked about that are shifting into new areas of the sky. So Mars dives into Scorpio on September 22nd with intensity. In its home sign, Mars operates with precision, persistence, and appetite for transformation. This is energy that cuts to the core, exposing what's hidden and pushing for real change. Yes. Storylines from fall of 2023 may re-emerge. Collectively, Mars and Scorpio fuels actions that confront power, secrecy, and control. On a personal level, it helps you turn desire into manifested realities. Mars in Scorpio is strategic, magnetic, and relentless. How about that? Yeah. So here's some more to know. On the same day, the sun leaves Virgo to enter Libra. Mars leaves Libra to enter the sign of its domicile, which is Scorpio. Mars feels great in Scorpio because in this fixed, powerful sign, it can channel its intense energy and passion with surgical precision. Mars in Scorpio is the most resilient, strong willed, and passionate Mars placement. Nothing will stop Mars in Scorpio from getting what he wants. Setbacks, challenges to be overcome, not reasons to quit. So if there's been something in your life you didn't feel ready emotionally or energetically to face or pursue, Mars's transit through Scorpio is your invitation to go all in. This is the time to commit fully, confront your fears, and draw on your inner reserves of courage and determination to do what you know you need to do. And that's from Astro Butterfly. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Really powerful, powerful stuff. Let me get some water. And just a reminder, folks, all of this is happening within 7 days. Like, I'm really gonna be tired. I'm really gonna be tired by the 25th of this month. I'm gonna really need a rest. So here's some more about Mars transiting Scorpio. Yeah. And this will be from September 22nd through November 4th. So it'll be there all of October. Mars entering his ancient domicile of Scorpio brings a surge of determination, willpower, and willingness to take action and make things happen. This transit energizes us, inspiring us to follow our passions and pursue what truly moves us. Mars in Scorpio helps us cut through distractions and direct our life force toward what has real meaning. Yeah, like cottage core economy. Here, Mars asks for depth. There is a magnetic, all or nothing quality to this combination of energies that can be both empowering and consuming. During this time, we will have opportunities to face fears, power dynamics, or deep seated desires that we have been avoiding. We will be challenged to focus less on moving forward recklessly and more on pursuing what matters with unshakable commitments. Wow. And that's from Moon Omens. Yeah. Really, really cool. Really cool. Mm, amazing. Amazing. This energy. Now, for the last 2 days of aspects in September, you're going to see some more tight energy, some more, it's a lot. But we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be okay because we got the Scorpio energy working. We got the Grand Air Trine working. There's stuff there, but I'm just letting you know it's a lot. So Tuesday, the 23rd, here we go. We get an opposition. Oh, this is the Sun in Libra opposing Neptune retrograde in Aries. Shortly after entering Libra, the Sun opposes retrograde Neptune in Aries. Learning to say no will benefit you today, as this sneaky aspect can bring out energy vampires and shady characters. Don't let people take advantage of your generous nature. Walk away. Or even better, don't even engage. Don't even engage to begin with. Yeah. But next, we do get a flow energy. This is the Sun in Libra trining Uranus retrograde in Gemini. Now, this experimental aspect can lead to unexpected yet positive changes in our lives today. It's a great day to try new things and step out of our comfort zones, as we'll be able to adapt quickly to new situations. So again, it's a flow energy, but it's saying that, it may not be the way you would like it to have to flow, but ultimately we will adapt and it is taking us forward. That's the most important thing. And then we get another flow energy. So, two flows against the tight energy is really good. And this is the Sun again in Libra, trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. This powerful aspect helps you make positive changes in your life. Today, you might seek influential positions in larger organizations, as it's easier to win people over. So again, get this nice flow energy despite the opposition energy that is also there on this day. And this has been going on a lot with the astrology that I've been sharing, where we're going to get in a day the paradox, something tight, something flow, something tight. It's kind of this like back and forth. Nothing, it's like nothing is totally easy. Like there's always a little challenge there. And it makes sense because we're in a time of what? Yeah, a huge healing, growth, and evolution. Absolutely. And then, the final aspect for the month of September on Wednesday, the 24th is, yeah, it's a square. It's a square. This is Mars in Scorpio squaring Saturn in Aquarius. I'm sorry. This is wrong. This is wrong. It should be Pluto in Aquarius. I'm sorry. And retrograde in Aquarius. See, when I was putting this together, I realized that I had flipped up one of the charts, and I think I didn't get back to this one to straighten it out. So please forgive me. But as it says here, watch out for power struggles today. Your drive to win could blur your perspectives. Stay confident, but be strategic in your approach to success. And basically, that's saying don't let yourself go cray cray and forget the truth of who you are and what you're really about as you are trying to make something happen. So basically, be aware of your control drama energy, which we all get triggered into. I know I do. Every day, sometime there's control drama going on, but want to see it, want to be aware of it, and again, don't don't put yourself into a role or into a position that is not generative, not respectful, not the truth of who you are. Absolutely. Absolutely. We made it. We made it through. And just a reminder about the cosmic bouquet that's going on. And this is the aspect of Uranus in Gemini, which is the first time it's done this in something like 9 years, 11, 9 years. And Saturn, I mean, Neptune being in Aries, and that together this energy is forming this cosmic bouquet, which Astro Butterflies talked about how this is exactly what it feels like when you're waiting to catch the bouquet, like in a rom-com. Um, and she says this aspect, and these two outer planets being aspected in the way that they are, this is about something wonderful that wants to come into your life. Open up to receiving it. It's inviting you to catch your own stroke of good fortune. With Neptune sextile Uranus, it really feels like the universe is on our side, setting up little sparks of possibility, just waiting for us to reach out and grab them. So get grabbing, stay open, be like this. Every morning you wake up, you should be like, thank you, God. Thank you, God. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. Because that's how the universe works and it's real. As Daphne says, yeah, cosmic bouquet, don't forget. So there's some really good stuff going on. Again, it's a journey, it's a challenging journey. It's like initiation. We don't know where we are, we don't know what's coming, we don't know what we're doing, but we know that we're doing this because we want to be aligned with the truth of who we are. We want to live a life that's meaningful, that's true and real, that's righteous for the right things, and that we want to be happy and fulfilled. We want to live life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's why we're here. Absolutely. So just a shout out to my books, still available. Amazon, Kindle, Walmart, Aged Books, and other booksellers. Also, a shout out to Malene Kybell's book, Reclaim the Sacred Self, specifically for women, taking you through 8 transformative reclamations to broaden your understanding of you, self-discovery, self-reclamation, and self-love. So, my darlings, there you have it. I hope this is helpful to you. I'm glad it worked out that I could get this out to you before next week. Next week, I will be sharing the Wisdom Walk talk. Um, the annual commitment we'll be looking at is about reclamation, reclaiming the truth of who you are. And again, with this week coming up, take a chill pill. Be gentle with yourself and others because this energy is full. It's a lot of it every day. There's something. And so you want to give yourself the time and the space you need to help integrate some of these energies, but also to stay mindful, to stay mindful. So drink lots of water, get enough rest, take a nap, just lay down, eat foods that are really, really supportive of your body staying as alkaline as possible. Stay away from highly acidic foods. It will not be good for you. Miranda Hurt says, thank you. Miranda, you're so welcome. Thank you for stopping in and for commenting. Appreciate you. Also, you too, Daphne. Thank you so much. And whoever else is listening out there, because I know I don't get all of the comments. Just know that I really feel your presence and I so appreciate your support for me to do what I do in the way that I do it. Hey, Nina, she says love. And yes, yes, it's been crazy, but you're so on point. I get it. I get it. Yes, yes, yes. So again, take care of yourselves, take care of others, and know that we will get to the other side of this. It has great purpose. And also, you're not alone. We really are all in this together. Thank you so much again for listening, for chiming in, and I will see you again next week and very soon. Bye bye now. You are so welcome, Molly. It's my great privilege and pleasure. Yes, Daphne, we're in this together. We got to keep reminding each other. Ashe.